Hey guys, we're starting day 3 of this week, and we're going to start diving into something new. So what we're going to do to start is glue in our notes. Hopefully you were able to pick up your INBs yesterday, and if you weren't, you're just going to need to find some paper to take notes on. But if you did grab your INBs, you're going to need to have these 4 things out and ready to go. You need to have your notes that you took last week, your INB, a pencil or pen, your choice, and some glue. And if you don't have glue, tape works also. If you don't have that, then you're going to have to problem solve on your own, okay? So first thing we're going to do is we're going to glue in our notes from last week. So I'm going to just open up to our next blank page in here, and that's going to be page 65 and 66. Now it's okay if you're not on the same pages as me because it's yours and you can do whatever you would like. So for me, I'm going to start with my integers note page, and I'm going to glue that onto page 66. I can open my glue. So I'm going to glue on that blank side that you should have. Okay, and that's going to go on 66. And then I'm going to flip my page because when I open this, I want to be able to actually read it and not cover anything else. So I'm going to just glue my next one on my next blank page, which is going to be 68. Okay, so that's going to be the absolute value and opposite of notes that we took on Thursday and Friday, or sorry, Friday and Monday. So, oops. Okay. So those should be glued in now. So you have a place for those. Oops, I did not do a very good job gluing that. Okay. So now I have my 2 pages. I'm going to go back and add these onto my table of contents later. I'm not going to do that right this second, because I don't want this video to be forever long. But page 66, or close, is going to be my integers, vocab, and inequalities. And 68 is going to be my absolute value and opposite of notes, okay? So now we're going to flip into page 69 and 70, and this is where we're going to start our notes for our next big idea. So let's start on page 70. We're going to zoom in. We're going to save page 69 for some practice. Okay, so we're going to set up our title. And by the way, all we're doing today is notes. So this video is going to be a little bit longer. So we're just going to do notes, and I will put up a practice website if you want to go to it, but it's mostly taking notes today and tomorrow. So you don't have to worry about an assignment. Okay, so we're going to talk about variables. Variables and expressions. So we kind of hit on that with our performance task of the gym, but we're going to do a little bit more with it. So we're starting with variables and expressions. So first off, let's talk about finding unknown numbers. Okay, so an unknown number is basically what a variable is, and we kind of defined that already, but we're going to come back to it, okay? So an unknown number is a variable, and that is a letter that represents an unknown number. Okay, so a letter that represents an unknown number. You know what? I'll zoom in because I know that if we were in class, there would be people saying, "Ms. Grossy, can you zoom in?" So I'm assuming that you need that now also. So a variable is that letter that represents an unknown number. So in a problem, what does this look like? So in a problem, a letter represents a specific number. Okay, so something to keep in mind, while it does represent a specific number, in that problem, the letter represents the same number each time. So, and I'll kind of explain that. So, in that problem, the letter represents the same number each time. Now you might be going, Ms. Grossman, I don't know what that means. I just learned what a variable was. You're right. So let's talk about that in context. So let's say I'm going to be talking about hops today. If we were still in class, we would be talking about a frog hopping contest and how far frogs jump. So I'm going to be kind of relating it to that. So if I were a frog, or I had a frog, and it made 3 hops on a line that I didn't quite know the length of, so if this is, I know how far the frog hopped total, and I knew he jumped so many this time. I saw him make 3 hops the first time. So he made 3 hops and they were all the same length. But I don't know how long they are. I'm going to give them a variable because I haven't figured out how long those jumps were. So I'm going to call those y. Okay? But I know that this last part, because there was a marker, he jumped 5 feet. Oops, almost didn't make that. So that jump was 5 feet long. So I know that all of these jumps are the same distance. I'm just not quite sure how long that is. And I know that this last jump that frog made was 5 feet. Okay, so I know that y is going to equal the same number. Y will be the same number each time. Okay, so that's what we're talking about. Okay, so let's say that y equaled 3 feet in here. So if y is equaling 3 feet, I can just add, oh, this becomes 3, this becomes 3, and this becomes 3. So I'm going to grab a different color. If you want to pause here and grab a different color, you can to help you label this. But I'm going to just go back and say, oh, well, I know that that y represents 3. So this is going to be 3. And I know that this y, because it's still a y, represents 3. And I know that this y also represents 3 because I know that y equals 3. And it's the same the whole way through that problem. So now I can just add all of those up. So 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus that 5 is going to get me to my total length. So 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 plus 5 is, thinking. If you said 14, you are correct. So 14 feet, okay? So that's what it means when we say in that problem, the letter represents the same each time. I do want you to know that if there were different letters, they would represent different numbers. So different letters in the same problem represent different numbers. okay? But we're not going to talk about that too much today. All right. So let's do a couple practice problems, all right? So we're going to bump over, to page 69, and we're going to set up our heading, and it's going to be variables and expressions practice. Okay. Now remember, if you're like, Mrs. Grossen, you're going too fast, pause the video, catch up, start when you need to. Okay, so we're gonna just do this frog jump. So let's go back and we're doing frog hopping contest. Because again, if we were in class, we would be doing this with frog hopping. So I have my frog, and I know, let's say we call him Hoppy. They're real creative with their names in the book. So Hoppy jumped a total of 2 times. Okay. His first jump was 8 feet. His total distance was 12 feet. How long was his second jump? So that's just a quick word problem. It's not exactly the one in the book, because the one in the book honestly requires a lot of discourse, meaning conversation, and we just don't have a way to do that right now. So I'm trying to simplify a little bit, okay? So I'm going to take this important information, and if I were doing cubes, I would break this down, but I'm just going to go real quick so our video is not super long. So I know that there's going to be 2 jumps that he has done. That first one was 8 feet long, and we don't know his second one, so I'm going to probably need to use a variable for that because it's an unknown number. But I do know the total. So the first thing I would do is I would set up an example of what his jump looked like. So I'm going to just start that line because I know he jumped quite a ways. And I know that he started at 0, right? And I probably should have done that over there, but we're going to do it now. And I know that his total distance was 12 feet. Okay, so I can just kind of put a mark and say, well, I know that his first jump was 8 feet. I'm not actually counting squares, I'm just kind of placing it. So I know that this jump was 8 feet. And I know that he made a second jump, but since I don't know what it is, I'm going to just use a variable to represent it. And you can pick any letter. So since we're talking about a hop, I'm going to use the letter H, okay? So what I want you to be in the practice of doing is creating an expression or a number sentence for this. An expression doesn't have an answer, but a number sentence does, by the way. But we're not going to talk about that right now. So I'm going to create a number sentence. So I know I hopped 8 feet. And I know that I got to 12 feet. So you might be saying, well, what operation would I use, Mrs. Grossen? Well, I want you to think, going back to our integers and number lines, what way am I moving? Am I moving to the left, subtracting, or am I moving to the right, adding? If you said we're moving to the right, so we're adding, you are correct. Okay, so I'm going to do that plus sign, and because I don't know how long this is, I'm going to just do the variable h. I probably didn't need to put feet in there, but you can if you wanted to. So now I can leave it just like this to show that this is the expression that explains what's happening here, or I can solve it. So if I'm going to solve it, I need to do some thinking. And you might already have an idea of what it is because you know your